5 tips to help to prepare for meeting with a listing agent. Contemplating selling a home? Seller has to meet no less than 3 real estate agents. Regardless of the possibility that he have a go-to operator, for instance, somebody he have utilized as a part of the past, or a specialist who comes prescribed by somebody he believe, it is as yet worth setting aside the opportunity to meet with no less than 2 extra operators. Selling a house is a major ordeal, and he should set aside the opportunity to ensure he have chosen the best specialist for him. When seller contact a specialist, anticipate that they will at first come to investigate the house. Seller would be careful about any specialist who meets him out of the blue and strolls in with a market examination and a proposed listing cost. Each house is extraordinary, and until the point that an operator gets inside and sees the format, condition, overhauls, and so forth, they can't generally make a decent showing with regards to deciding a legitimate listing cost for his home. Once the operator has visited his home, anticipate that they will set up a moment meeting, ideally, with all property holders' chief's exhibit. To enable him to get ready for these gatherings, seller had assembled a rundown of homework he ought to do preceding meeting with a listing specialist. Being ready will enable the operator to furnish him with a superior market's esteem appraisal. Here are the 5 tips to help to prepare for meeting with a listing agent. 1. Make sure seller home is clean and picked up. While it might appear this is an easy decision, despite everything it bears say, seller needs his home to look its closest to perfect. In the event that he will be listing his home available to be purchased, he ought to get used to keeping his home flawless and grabbed. You never know when a potential buyer will need to see it. While specialists are better at seeing past earth and mess, they likewise realize that a tidy and got home is less demanding to sell, which will frequently bring about a higher selling cost. Set aside the opportunity to make his home look its closest to perfect preceding his first operator visit. 2. Prepare a list of upgrades and major repairs and maintenance. Did seller supplant the rooftop a year ago? Did he overhaul his kitchen as of late? While a few things might be evident, take some time preceding his specialist visit to arrange a rundown of work he have done on his home, and when he did it, to the best of his capacity. Give this rundown to the specialist, which can help them in legitimately esteeming his home. Influence the rundown as exhaustive as seller can. While a few users may matter short of what others, let the operator figure out what is essential. 3. Understand seller selling time frame. All specialists will need to know whether seller is hoping to list quickly, at some point in the following couple of months, or possibly in the following year or 2. The planning of when he needs to get his home available can affect the listing cost. It likewise gives the listing operator a thought of what he desires of them are. 4. Beware of disclosing too much information. This really may be a standout amongst the most imperative tips, and one that is infrequently, if at any time, talked about. Until the point when seller consents to a listing arrangement with an operator, they don't speak to him. On the off chance that he reveals to them seller is separating and searching for a brisk deal, or that his neighbors are noisy and upsetting and he can't make tracks in an opposite direction from them sufficiently quick, this could cause issues down the road for seller later. Unveiling data to a specialist, who he later doesn't procure, is data that they now claim, and can impart to a seller that they may convey to his property later. 5. Have some idea what seller home may be worth. This isn't intended to put the weight of esteeming his home on him. Seller is depending on the specialist to be the master, and in spite of the abundance of data now accessible about home costs, the operator will, in any case, have more exact and finished data about listing and pitching costs, notwithstanding knowledge in selling homes. That being stated, set aside some opportunity to take a gander at websites and see what is as of now available in his general vicinity and at what cost. Search for homes that have comparative room and restroom checks, area and highlights. This will enable seller to make better inquiries when the specialist returns with his or her market examination. It will likewise set him up on the off chance that the specialist returns with a value that appears to be abnormally high. While at times an operator is attempting to get a listing by coming in with the most noteworthy rundown cost, by and large, that isn't the situation. Be that as it may, by doing some homework ahead of time, if a specialist's proposed listing cost is higher than what seller is expecting, seller will be better arranged to make inquiries and comprehend their basis. For free samples of probates, inherited, foreclosures, absentees landlord, vacant, code violations, evictions list, visit www.rensupermarket.com.